Hey, how's it going there? Troy with Big BB LLC. I wanted to come on here and kind of dispel some myths and spit out some facts of what's going on in the gun world because I keep hearing it every day. Oh, man, I don't want to buy a gun through a dealer because I don't want the government to have my information. Um, this is called a driver's license. The government already has your information. So there's that. And there is no information that goes on one of these 4473s. This is the actual transfer of a firearm form that you fill out. There's nothing that goes on these that isn't already on here. Matter of fact, let me show you something. If I can. There we go. So right here, I can take this driver's license, this little scan tool. Wait for it to stop. Send it. And I've got all the information on the driver's license, right? So if I can do that with just the limited amount of information I was able to pull up from the driver's license and transfer this over to a form, what do you think the government can do? They don't need your firearm transaction record to find you. The one thing I think is really hilarious is people actually think that the government is efficient enough to come after little Tim from Tennessee. Like they give a shit about Tim from Tennessee, right? Unless you're part of some freaking underground organization that we won't go there, but like I said, little Tim from Tennessee is probably safe. So that's one of the things I wanted to bring up. Like like if you're not buying a firearm from a dealer just because you don't want the government to have your information, I want to get rid of your driver's license, man. They already got that shit. All right. So let's go into the meat and potatoes of some of this stuff. Let me show you exactly why why I say a lot of this stuff that I'm saying, right? So here's your firearms transaction record right here. You can see it. These are all the things you got to blank out. This right here, at the very top, this is where the firearm information goes. This right here is your social security number. You will also notice it says it's optional. I have people that put it in that don't care. I have people that leave it blank. Either way, it doesn't matter. It's optional, right? That is one piece of information that is optional. Then you answer your questions, you sign it. Here's where your license information goes. All it is I just put in Mississippi driver's license. I put in the number of the license and the day it expires. That is it. I don't take a copy of your license. I don't staple it to the damn form. I'm not required to, so I'm not going to. Right here is your transaction for your background check. You'll notice it just says the day I put it in, the check number goes here, and whatever outcome goes right there on 27C. This form comes from the ATF. I use a paper form still. Once you're done filling this form out and everything's good and I do the transaction, it goes into that file cabinet over there. So no one's hacking it, right? Here is the background check. The background check actually goes through the FBI, not through the ATF. That's why the ATF asks you for the number of the background check, because they don't know unless you give it to them. And even then, these are only good for 30 days, right? So let me run through the FBI background information and show you some of the stuff that's different than the form, right? One, you see that little button I just clicked? That's just telling the system that me as the dealer have already taken your paper and your license, matched them up together, and everything's good, right? This matches the information on this. That's all I'm telling them by clicking yes there. We're going to go ahead and put my stuff in there. Right here. I am a resident of Mississippi. Place of birth is unfortunately California. Height, weight, sex, date of birth. I'm going to leave my social blank because I'm not actually going to do this check, right? We'll go ahead and continue. And then this information, again, is already information you put on this. I'm not Hispanic, I'm white, I'm a US citizen, and did not answer the questions that I'm not supposed to answer in the back. Right? Continuing on. Driver's license number, I put in my driver's license number here. And all it's going to tell me now is I'm going to sell a handgun, a long gun, frame receiver, pawn handgun, pawn long gun, pawn, redemption of a pawn, private sale. If I'm facilitating a third-party transaction, I'd use that. We don't do that here in Mississippi. So some of the states that make you do that, or if you actually do that in a state that doesn't require it, you can anyway. But that's all they know. Sale of a handgun, sale of a long gun, sale of a frame or receiver. They're not asking for the model. They're not asking for the manufacturer. They're not asking for the serial number. They do not give a shit about that. That is the difference between the FBI and the ATF. Your driver's license went in here, but you'll notice on here, you put your address. Nowhere on here did it ask for your address. It will, however, ask for your address if you get put in a delayed or denial status, right? So there is that. You do have to get put into a delayed or denial status for this system right here to ask your address. If you get a proceed, it actually just goes through. It doesn't ask me any additional information. And just to show you here, if I hit continue, this is going to be the last page. All it's going to put out is all the information I already put on there. I re-verify your first, middle, and last name. Once I hit this, you notice it says finish instead of next. Once I hit this, that's it. All right. I am not going to hit that. But what I will do is I will show you what a registration actually looks like, right? No one is registering your guns. This is my eForms account right here. And if you look at view inventory, I'll actually set this to 25. These are all the suppressors and machine guns I own. Suppressors, machine guns, SBRs, SBSs, which is your short-barreled rifle and your short-barreled shotgun. This is this list. Not only do they have my serial number, the manufacturer, what it is, the caliber, the model, the length, overall length, they have all the information. This is what a registry looks like, all right? So if you are buying suppressors, short-barreled rifles, machine guns, if you got a transferable, or if you're an 0702 like I am, this is where all that information is. Every time I make one of these, every time somebody makes one of these, they have to do what's known as a Form 2. And that basically lets the ATF know, hey, I made one of these, here's the serial number, so they could put it in your inventory. Guess what doesn't get formed anything? Any of the rifles I've ever manufactured, any of the pistols I've ever manufactured. Matter of fact, they don't give me a serial number sequence I have to use. I've actually done custom serial numbers for people. The only thing that they tell me I can and cannot do is I cannot duplicate a serial number, and it has to meet certain criteria. 3/1000 of an inch deep, at least a 1/16 of an inch high, and then I've got certain information I've got to put in there. That's it, right? And the certain types of information I got to put in there, don't get that twisted. It's basically my FFL, my city and state that my FFL is held in, the caliber of the weapon, the model number of the weapon, and the serial number of the weapon. That is it. That's all I got to put in there. The serial number is up to me. If I am doing this from scratch, which I've been known to do, nobody tells me what serial number I have to use. So there's no record of it. So there's no registry of it, all right? So for all the dumbasses that think going to a dealer makes you more or less likely to be tracked, that's mostly false information, all right? One of the things that happens to firearms is a trace. I don't know if anyone's ever had a trace done on them. I know FFLs have, we do it all the time. But basically, the way a trace works is they're going to go to the manufacturer of the firearm, right? Whoever's name is on there when they engraved it, and they're going to give them that serial number, and they're going to go to them, and they're going to say, hey, who did you sell this to? Well, we sold it to this distributor. So they're going to go to that distributor and trace that and go, hey, who did you sell this to? And then they're going to go to the dealer that they sent it to. And then they're going to say, hey, who did you give this to? And then the dealer is going to provide them with who, if they sent it to another dealer or if they got rid of it to a transfer, they're going to ask for that information. And so if you bought something from a private sale, they're going to go to that person, that last person in line that the record exists, and they're going to investigate them. So if you got it from a private sale, if you think Joe Bob over here isn't going to give them your name because you bought it from him on a cash deal just to get out of a federal investigation, and Joe Bob's probably a pretty damn good friend, but they're going to track this down until they find the last person holding the bag. So just because you didn't buy it from a dealer doesn't mean they can't find you. All right? So that whole, I'm going to buy it private because there's no transaction records and stuff like that. Yeah, there is no transaction records, but it doesn't mean that they're not going to find you because nobody wants to be the last guy holding the bag on a private sale. Nobody likes you that much. And if they do, you better keep that dude close. That would be one hell of a friend. You know what I mean? So, like I said, I'm just trying to dispel some myths of private sales versus dealer sales, because as a dealer, I hear it all the time. Yeah, I'd buy from you, but I don't want a record of it. It's a fucking paper record, and it's nothing that you haven't already given them obtaining one of these. Facts. All right? So whether you get it from a dealer or whether you get it from a private sale, they can still trace it to you. Doesn't matter which way you went with it. All right? So, with that being said, if you have any questions, or if I wasn't clear enough on something, please ask. All right? I'm an open book. I'll let you know. I hate the ATF and any three-letter agency more than most people around here. So if there is something I didn't hit or something I need to discuss, you let me know. Because I didn't probably hit everything. I didn't hit multiple sales, all right? That's probably something that you should be concerned of, is a multiple sales record. If you buy more than 2 pistols in a 5-day period, all the information to all of that, that whole transfer, the model number, the serial number, the people who bought it, everything, that goes to 3 people. 1, my records. 2, your chief law enforcement officer. And 3, the ATF. So I highly recommend, if you buy a pistol from a dealer, or if you buy more than one, do it 5 days apart. And that 5 days isn't 5 calendar days. It's not 5 working days. It's not 5 business days. It's 5 days that the shop is open. So if the shop is only open 1 day a week, you got to wait 5 weeks. All right. And that is one of the reasons that my hours is posted 24/7. I am open 24/7. Why? Now it's 5 days. Regardless if there's a weekend, regardless if there's a holiday, I'm open weekends, I'm open holidays, 5 days. And before anyone comes and gets a record from me, I do disclose that and let them make that decision. Most people are like, nah, I don't give a shit. I ain't got nothing to hide. So we go ahead with the transaction. The other people are like, yeah, I'll see you in 5 days, bro. Thanks for looking out. Either way, I don't care. I am just here to provide you the information to keep you safe and to stop allowing your friends that know shit about shit to keep filling your head full of lies and myths, all right? Either the government is so inefficient that they couldn't find their own fucking ass with their, both hands and a flashlight, or they're so efficient that Tim from Tennessee is on their radar. Which is it, right? You can't say one thing without the other thing being true or untrue. Um, it just it blows my mind how many people actually believe this shit. So, with that being said, again, if I didn't hit anything, or if I need to expound on something, that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to give you information. All right. So let me know. Stay safe, shoot straight, and we'll hopefully see you later.